Inle Lake is one of Myanmar's most iconic natural treasures, known for its stunning beauty, unique fishing culture, and floating gardens. But beneath this scene landscape, a silent crisis is unfolding. Scientists warn that Inle Lake is rapidly destroying, but many local residents find it hard to believe. So what's really happening here? In this video, we'll explore how human activities had triggered vicious cycles of ecological destruction. Why locals and scientists see the situation differently, and what this crisis at Inle Lake reveals about global environmental challenges, especially after the devastating flood in 2024. To understand why Inle Lake is changing so fast, we need to break it down step by step. Let's start with three key ideas: system change, multi-species infrastructure, and the Anthropocene patch. System change refers to major shift in an ecosystem caused by human action. One of the biggest changes here is the excessive use of fertilizers in floating agriculture. These fertilizers don't just help crop growth, they also flood the lake with nutrients, triggering eutrophication. This means that algae start growing uncontrollably, blocking sunlight, consuming oxygen, and make it harder for native fish to survive. As fish struggles, they migrate to other areas and the lake ecosystem starts to breaking down. But this doesn't just affect fish, it also impacts invasive species. This brings us the second idea, multi-species infrastructure, which emphasizes how non-human actors like water hyacinth actively restructure ecosystems. Thick mats of hyacinth cover the lake, blocking sunlight and absorbing oxygen, forcing native fish to migrate away. However, Nile tilapia and invasive species survive in low oxygen conditions. Finally, Inle Lake is an Anthropocene patch, a specific site heavily reshaped by human activities. The ecological impacts are not evenly distributed. Certain noted areas are severely affected, becoming sacrifice zones due to intense agricultural practices. But why has agriculture intensified here so dramatically? Located in Myanmar's southern state, Inle Lake isn't just beautiful, it's essential to thousands of local livelihoods. Traditionally, communities rely on fishing, tourism, and floating agriculture. The lake is home to unique fish and winter migrating bird species. However, recent political instability in Myanmar severely impacted tourism, forcing locals into economic uncertainty. With tourism and reliable community turned increasingly towards floating agriculture, intensifying fertilizers used to boost crop yields. Unfortunately, this shift has triggered an ecological crisis that's becoming uncontrollable. This is how the crisis at Inle Lake intensified, trapping local communities in an ecological and economic downward spiral. Economic hardship forces small people to rely on floating agriculture. To maximize crop production, they use more fertilizers. These fertilizers run off into the lake, overloading the water with nutrients and causing eutrophication. Instead of supporting natural biodiversity, these excess nutrients allow water hyacinth to spread aggressively, covering large portions of the lake and further lowering oxygen levels. Native fish species struggle to survive and migrate away to areas with better oxygen levels, reducing fish availability for local fishermen. Meanwhile, Nile tilapia and invasive species thrive in the poor conditions because it can adapt to oxygen levels. But it's small, less sexy, and has little market value, meaning fishermen can't make a living from it. With fewer fish to catch and no buyers for Nile tilapia, fishermen lose their income and are forced to switch to farming, further increasing fertilizers use. This intensifies the problem, making the lake ecosystem even more fragile. And the cycle keeps worsening. The more fertilizers are used, The more water hyacinths take over, suffocating the lake, the more native species fish disappear, the more fishermen are forced out of their livelihood, turning to farming instead. And what can be done to stop this crisis? For decades, scientists have warned that Inle Lake is in danger, but to many locals, this warning doesn't feel urgent. After all, the lake is still here. However, in 2024 flood were a wake-up call. Many people who once believed that lake would always recover now see the damage happening in real time. The flood may have sped up the very changes scientists have been warning about. This crisis isn't just about Inle Lake, it's a part of something bigger. Around the world, we are seeing similar environmental crises unfold, where economical survival and ecological disruptions are deeply connected. As climate change makes extreme weather events more frequent and severe, these problems will only grow. So what can we do? The first step is understanding. We need to bring the gap between scientific knowledge and local experiences. People on the ground know the lake better than anyone, and their voices must be part of the solution. If action isn't taken soon, the lake may pass the tipping point. In the end, saving the Inle Lake isn't just about science or economics, it's about people. And if we truly want to protect the place, we need to work together before it's too late.